struggle to heat our homes, we have to pay for your parade. The taxpayer pays 100 million for you, and what for? Needham Renin, not my king.
Hi everyone, happy Saturday. Hope you're all staying sane. That's going to be my new hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying sane. Welcome to the chat, everyone. Oi. Just 2 more days, everyone. Just 2 more days. Yes, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sorry. Literally the first thing I do when I scroll up on the chat, I don't think that there's anyone in the casket. Do you know how many people have said that? Oh, you know, I was just about to go to bed last night when the news came in about this so-called uninvite. And I was so mad that I literally tweeted, I was about to go to sleep. There's always something. Oh, honestly, they've just turned this whole funeral into a freak show, an utter freak show. This could have been done in peace. Quite frankly, they could have also just done a lot less ceremonies. I don't understand the whole point of, just parading all the motorcades and everything here, there, and everywhere, taking a million private jets. They could have just simplified everything. And at the end of the day, Charles was gonna be coronated, so he'll go get to do his kingly tour at some point. I just think they should have read the room, and I actually think, right, that there should have been almost nothing between now and the funeral. Like, it just should have been the funeral. And I think that would have looked a lot more sensitive to the fact that a lot of people are struggling. Right now, it just feels like they're parading a lot of wealth and money that the taxpayer is paying, and the taxpayer is paying for all of this. Outsider's perspective, Monday is the last day, and Harry and Meghan go home on Tuesday, hopefully. I think a lot of people get confused with this channel, and for those of you who are maybe just tuning in for the first time, or don't really know a lot about what we're about here, I am a Harry, Meghan, and Diana fan. I am not a royalist. I don't really care about the other royals and what they do, other than to call them out on their BS. I am not a royalist. I am a Harry, Meghan, and Diana fan. So just to clear that up, if anybody wasn't clear. All right, let's get started. So yes, we got the news yesterday that Harry and Meghan have been apparently uninvited from the state reception on Sunday. And here's my theory about this. I think that when the articles about Harry and Meghan going to the state banquet were first put out, it was speculation. There was no actual official statement, I don't remember, from the Sussex camp. And let's just remind ourselves of what Harry and Meghan said when they first stepped down. Effective 31st, 2020, no other royal communications representatives act on behalf of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, including palace spokespeople, household representatives, nor royal sources. Yes, those so-called royal sources. So I think what happened is that they put this out into the public, then invited Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan probably said no. And then they had to try and spin it. And in an effort to also humiliate them, have now come out and said that they're uninvited. Now, I saw something else floating around claiming that, well, the event was only for working royals. I just think this is them getting egg on their faces again. I think they tried to get Harry and Meghan there. Harry and Meghan, it seems like they don't want to go. And so they're putting out a story about them, being uninvited. Because let's just say, well, Harry and Meghan decided, well, they just don't want to go, right? Why do you need to have articles in the press saying that they were uninvited? Why is that important to make it look like they were uninvited? It looks very, very spiteful on Charles and the palace's part. And again, it distracts from what we're presumably meant to all be here for, the Queen's funeral. See your comments. Patricia, the advisors who are so full of themselves clearly have no clue. No, they don't. They really don't. Karen M, that is less time I have to watch these crazy people. Miranda, Omid hasn't mentioned anything about them being uninvited. Well, there was never any actual clarification that they were going in the first place. Gail Lewis, yep, if it doesn't come from the Sussex spokesperson, it's not true. Well, to be honest, when I first heard about them going to state reception, even though it didn't come directly from the Sussex spokesperson, or I don't remember that it did, because it wasn't a negative story, I just assumed that it was true. Celine, these optics don't bother them. Why report an invite, then uninvite? If true, why so conflicted? That is true. Gail Lewis, whichever way they try to spin this, it only makes them look bad. It's a lose-lose for the royal family at this stage. Yes, it is. It really is. Yeah, Emerald, what work do they do? There is no such thing as a working royal. Okay, so moving on from this, because you know what? I'm actually either way, I'm glad that Harry and Meghan aren't actually going on Sunday, because you probably would have had the likes of Arthur Edwards and all the royal reporters would have been given access to this event. The palace would have just used it for good PR. Harry and Meghan would have been the draw, especially Meghan. All eyes would have been on her. So now they're just denying these people of oxygen and money and photographs. So in the end, I think it's actually a good thing that they're not going. And bless them, they're probably tired. They're probably just exhausted physically and emotionally, especially emotionally. Well, Traveller, Monday will be an ish show. Do you know what? Oh, I have a feeling about Monday. I really, really do. I just had this very, very strange feeling. I hope everything goes okay, but like I am on the edge of my seat. I also find it very disrespectful that they're treating certain world leaders as lesser. So you've got, I guess, what you could say was, the G7, the big honchos who are going in all of their private security and private cars, and then everybody else kind of being just shuttled in buses. And the nerve of the firm to tell everybody else to be eco-conscious when Charles is roaming around in helicopters and private jets. So I find that very disrespectful that they are kind of putting the other world leaders at a lower level and just saying, well, you should be, shuttled around in buses. Mel, JK, they don't even need to be there anyway. They are moving in the world stage, not that island. Exactly. Oi. So yeah, in terms of controversial world leaders that are attending, I believe the King of Spain might actually be going. Now, the King of Spain he is under investigation for fraud, and he's not actually in Spain. He's in hiding somewhere else, but it's believed that he will be coming. And another controversial figure that will be coming is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And the royals and Saudis, so the Saudi royals and British royals do have a very close relationship. Britain is one of Saudi Arabia's biggest arms dealers, and the royals are often used as mediators for those arms deals. And I'm sure we all remember the clown show just before the Oprah interview, where they tried to say that Meghan was, part of some, nefarious deals because she wore the Saudi earrings. But here they are, literally making weapons deals with these people. I've always said that the whole thing with Meghan and the earrings was a setup with that Angela woman, the Angela Kelly woman. I don't even think that she knew that those earrings were from Saudi. So he is going to be at the funeral, and let me just read from. There was a Guardian article that came out, and it said Mohammed bin Salam's plan to touch down in London on Sunday to pay his respects to the Queen has been condemned by Hatis Sengiz and other human rights defenders as a stain on the monarch's memory and an attempt by the Saudi Crown Prince to use mourning to seek legitimacy and normalization. Sengiz, who was engaged to Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist who was killed and dismembered by Saudi agents in the Istanbul consulate in 2018, sure we all remember that, said she wished that Prince Mohammed would be arrested for murder when he lands in London, but said she feared that UK authorities would turn a blind eye to serious and credible allegations against the future king. So there you go. Corruption in front of everybody's faces. Joyce, look for Monday that Harry and Meghan may be seated away from the royal family. That place is getting toxic. I hope they are. I really hope they are at this point. Like, we just want them in, out, and back on Air Force One with Biden and back to the US, please. There is no need for them to be there a second longer after. Absolutely done with it all, y'all. Done with it. Gerda, this king is forgetting that Harry is his son. I wonder if Charles has really ever seen Harry as his son from the very beginning, because wasn't he first of all disappointed that Harry was ginger and a boy? He wanted a girl. And then didn't he go to, what was it, polo straight afterwards? So it seems like pretty much from the day that Harry was born, there was a very strained relationship there on Charles's part. But Miranda, I honestly think a formal invitation was never given to the Sussexes. KP just released it to the press. They want to humiliate the Sussexes. That's what it seems like. They just can't help but continue with a spin, even during the so-called mourning period. And I'm telling you now, these people are not mourning the Queen. They're not. I just find it insane that you've got people lining up for hours, and the Queen's own family members are just playing PR games and playing optics. They're not even mourning her, but you're standing around for 20 hours to see Lizzie in a box. Please, somebody make it make sense. The insanity. Oh, anyway, well, at least some people, it would appear, have found a way to profit. At least the armbands are actually selling for quite a pretty penny. Now, there was an article about this in the Daily Fail the other day, and I wasn't sure if it was just the Daily Fail making up nonsense. But yes, people are selling the wristbands, and people are actually bidding for them. So you've got in the corner, top corner, £103, 3 bids. £150, 1 bid. £51, 2 bids. And £9.99, 1 bid there in the bottom. So people are actually selling them and people are actually buying them. So let's say you lined for 8 hours, right? So 150 divided by 8, that's what? About £18 an hour? So a decent amount above the average minimum wage. Marina, they are not in mourning anymore. They are just trying to beat it in the public's head now. Relevant the circus is. Well, James, our favorite presenter over at LBC, he made a point about this and said, you know, did the lions ever have to be this long, or have they manufactured this situation? He did a very good segment on this. And he said they could have conducted the ticketing system in a way that did not involve an enormous queue snaking through London. And I agree. I think that they could have. I think you would have still had a very long line, but I don't think it would have been as long as it is now if they had had a more sensible ticketing system. Maybe try to give people slots. Um, I don't know. I mean, you would have still had a lot of people, but maybe it would have been a little bit more organized. And I just feel that they knew that they weren't going to get the outpouring of grief, the fields of flowers, and the love that Diana did. So the second best thing they can do is a massive line. I mean, this is just the oh, I have to hold my tongue a little bit. I don't even want to go there. Don't even want to go there. Donna, I believe that Prince Harry declined the invitation to the state dinner Sunday because of the rotors being there and a lot of shady characters. Yes, and it's not just the Saudi prince. A lot of these world leaders, to be honest, um, have shady dealings, and you don't want to be photographed with anyone that the British press could use against you now or later on in the future. So I think this is a very clever move by Harry and Meghan, to be honest, because really, a lot of people would be wanting to speak to them. Mel, I read that Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan will be driving there on Monday separately from the others. I don't know if that's true, hun. I guess we'll see. Gail Lewis, Diana said they'd never been happier during her pregnancy with Harry. Then afterwards, it all fell apart. Yeah, that wasn't that in Diana in her own words, right? Black Queen, perhaps it's better that Harry and Meghan do not attend the event on Sunday. Keep them away from all those hypocritical fraud international leaders and unroyal mafia family. Thank you so much, Black Queen, for articulating exactly what I was thinking. All right. So yeah, that's that. What else was I going to mention? Yeah, with the queue, there was this very interesting tweet from Philip Proudfoot. He said, I very much enjoyed people getting upset that there's a separate fast line for MPs, lords, and their guests to see the Queen lying in state, as being deeply unfair and treating some people as better than others while waiting to view a Queen. Look, if you're lining up through London to pay respect to the mega symbol of inequality, the British aristocracy, and hereditary privilege, I just think you should be consistent and shed a dignified tear for a lord or other important person during the queue. Sorry, jumping the queue. It's truly beautiful watching people more important than me jump the line. Thank you, ma'am. This is a true this is true royalist respect. Exactly. There were people getting mad at people of a certain status jumping the queue while you're literally queuing to see a queen. Make it make sense. Gail Lewis, they've got to pay their bills somehow. Yeah, exactly. So sell your armbands. Although I'd like to know who's buying them. Fatumata, it's amazing and shocking that Prince Harry has self-esteem at all, because it seems after his mother's passing, his family tried everything so he could doubt himself forever. Yes, because they never wanted him to leave. The spare is meant to be a shield, a fall guy. That's basically what you're for. Yeah, Ginger Lily, I'm not mad at the folks for. I'm not mad at them for selling the wristbands at all. Um, I'm more surprised than I want to know who is buying them. That's what I want to know. Yes, Patricia. I believe they wanted the optics of the lines. Right. And yes, there was one very brave Labour leader, um, Clive Lewis, who said that the idea of monarchy as a symbol of duty and sacrifice is a lie. So I just want to read this article. Give me a sec. Because I think it's a very, very good one. So he actually broke protocol that was set by the Labour leader Keir Starmer. He said that the party should stay silent before the Queen's funeral on Monday as a sign of respect. So the leader of the Labour Party told his own party MPs to basically stifle their voices. And remind me again what Labour is meant to stand for. It's meant to stand for working class people, and traditionally always had a very Republican branch. And now you've got the leader saying, don't say anything about the monarchy. But anyway, Peter Walker, who was the political correspondent, wrote an article about this in The Guardian, and he said, the notion of the royal family as symbols of duty or sacrifice to the nation is a lie and is at the centre of a deeply unequal United Kingdom. A senior Labour MP has argued, breaching Keir Starmer's order to his party to stay silent before the Queen's funeral on Monday. Clive Lewis, the Norwich South MP and former shadow cabinet minister, said the arrest of anti-monarchy protesters and the condemnation of those who dissented showed that the royal succession is as much about coercion as consent. In an article for The Guardian, which is likely to infuriate Starmer's office, Lewis said his initial response to the idea of people queuing for many hours to file past the Queen's coffin was one of bemusement followed by a touch of despair. Lewis argued that media interviews and with the mourners often showed a key motivation was the need to feel part of something more than themselves. The fundamental truth about the monarchy, he argued, was its role as a national distraction. It is a spectacle of exemplifying virtues that should be typical in public life and public behaviour. Casting such behaviour as exceptional allows the likes of Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, and the economic elites they represent to break and exploit the rules for their own benefit, and that of their very narrow class interest, of which the monarchy is an integral part of. So, yeah. So the article is quite long. I'm not going to read the whole of it, but I think you can kind of get the sense of it there. And I'm glad that there are at least, a few people who are willing to say something. Hello, Karen M, and welcome to the Members Club. Thank you so much for joining. Maureen, all this pageantry is for King Charles and not for the Queen's funeral. Elizabeth is not in the casket. Oh my gosh. I actually do think she's not in the casket or she's not in the coffin was trending, or Lizzie's not in the box was trending. One of them. All right, let me just double check. There was yes. If you haven't been watching Trevor Noah's segments about the Royals, I would 100% recommend you go over to their YouTube channel and watch it because he has just made some brilliant videos. Some of them serious, some of them funny about the whole situation. And in this later segment, he says quite rightly, you can't expect people to show respect for something that never respected them. And I think this goes for both the British people and people of colonized nations. So very well said to Trevor. And in all of this, our dear and lovely and missed Princess Diana has been proven right. Tori Spencer tweeted, Princess Diana has been proven right. Charles is not up for the job. He has single-handedly made his mother's funeral about Prince Harry and Meghan. Hateful UK media take note. Meghan and Harry have not put a foot wrong during the mourning period. They really haven't. They have not put a foot wrong. They have been respectful when they really didn't have to. But history will show that they came here, they were as grateful and respectful as possible in the face of complete and utter disrespect. And with that, we are going to end the afternoon podcast. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh! I almost forgot. Yes, someone actually tried to go for the coffin. Let me play the video. Here it is. Yeah, there you go. Someone decided that they were going to try and rush the coffin. I don't know why you would do that. You'd line up for hours just to get basically torn down by officers. Right. I'm gonna put the music on just for 2 secs, and then we will take comments to finish off the show. Just give me a sec, everyone. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody try any funny stuff on Monday at all. It's going to be incredibly stupid. That number of world leaders and dignitaries around, I don't think that they are going to hesitate you to take you out. I think that would be just an automatic takeout. And there are, I believe, snipers on the roofs. So please, nobody try anything funny that day, and do not try what that guy did. It was quite interesting. The police officers went for him, the guards didn't. So I don't know if the guards are just there for decoration. Oi. All right. Princess B, I'm furious that Meghan is missing the Empowering Women event for this stupid funeral. I'm furious too, but listen, Meghan herself has made it very clear that she liked the Queen, she respected the Queen, so there's how we see the situation from the outside as fans of Meghan, and there's how they are experiencing the situation as family members of this institution. And that is just how it is. But hopefully after the funeral, we can just go back to we can just go back to focusing on their work. Joan Commonwealth, seeing a covered box on a pedestal. Pretty much. Elaine, did you see Philip Schofield and Holly jump the queue? Yes, I did see that. People have been complaining about that. And well, at the end of the day, isn't Philip Schofield, isn't he hasn't he been given a Queen's Honor? And I think Holly has as well. And anyway, in either case, they're on the morning talk shows every single morning, spewing the propaganda. So I'm sure I'm sure that they were absolutely allowed to skip the queue. Susie Q, and it's not like they're seeing the Queen. Oh, you just reminded me. I was actually going to get a picture of when the Zambian president passed, and they had like plexiglass over the coffin, so you could actually see him in there. You absolutely knew that he was in there. It wasn't just a box. I mean, if people are mourning about the Queen now, wait until they see their bill for energy. There's actually a video going around of someone she goes around sorry, she goes down the queue and she asks people, is the Queen's funeral like more important than the energy crisis? And the number of people who are just like, well, everything is going to sort itself out properly, and things will just go back to normal. Or yeah, obviously the Queen's funeral is more important than the energy crisis. It's like it's y'all. This is I want someone to open a psychology faculty to just study the last 7 days. Just wow. Um, Kids indoor. If I went to pay my respects to the Queen, my wristband would be in a time for the next 100 years. Wait, would be in a time? Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Legs, were the bullying claims of Chuck with his pen fiasco? Oh, sorry, where are the bullying claims with Chuck and his pen fiasco? I remember seeing documentaries where he called in someone to pick up a pen that fell in the garbage can. Oh, I don't think it was a pen. I think it was a piece of paper. But yes, entitled, very, very entitled. And he also has his toothpaste squeezed for him, and his water run for him for the bath. Thank you so much, Caroline, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you, Drina, as well for the super sticker. And Macy Foreman for the super sticker as well. Oh, I love that you love to be here. Daniel, I have never believed that people in England will accept Camilla as Queen Consort. Well, it seems that a lot of people are accepting her as Queen Consort, as they are accepting Andrew coming back into the fold. Karen M, the Sussex calendar was full this month and they had to cancel or reschedule a lot for this mess. Yes, very unfortunate. Lydia, Prince Harry and Meghan do not want my taxpayers' money, including receptions by the state, just as was for the Thanksgiving reception during the Jubilee. Yes, they just want to get on with their own lives and make their own money. And unfortunately, that puts the rest of the institution at risk of being questioned. If the other two can go off and make their own money, and if you have so much exceptional wealth, well, why does the taxpayer have to be paying for you? I do actually think that there are a lot of people who believe that because they contribute some way to the royal family, that they are actually part of all of this. Like they actually see themselves in the royals. And the reason I think this is because it doesn't make sense to me why you would be a poorer or working class person and be okay with these rich and privileged people who already have so much wealth and power living these privileged lives while you're poorer and working class. So the only explanation that I have or I can think of is that they actually feel that they are part of this. And by partaking in this, by going to see the Queen's coffin, by lining up for hours, by doing their so-called queuing duty, that they also are somehow part of something bigger, and that gives them, I don't know, something emotional within them. Maybe I actually need to find a psychologist to come to come in and articulate this from an actual professional perspective. because it's quite astonishing to see. Yes, Trevor Noah speaks the truth. Lady Bear Diana come back to haunt Chucky and his bride. Ah, thank you so much, Lorna, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Black Queen, Trevor is on point. He alludes to the fact that it's okay to mourn, but don't attack others because you expect others to feel the same way about their oppressors. Yes, and he does acknowledge the fact that to some people, yeah, the Queen is a grandmother, a mother, and all the rest of it. But to other people, she represents something that triggers emotions of anger and pain. Um, Tiger Hub, as hard as it must be for Meghan, she has shown that her love for Harry is stronger than her discomfort being within the snake pit. She's amazing. She's truly amazing. Oh, she's a better person than me because I don't know if I could. Patricia, did David Beckham skip the queue? No, apparently he did the whole queue, and everybody is praising him for his queuing. I mean, I don't know why. I believe he's already. Does he have an OBE or is he knighted or whatever he is? He's gonna go home to his own big old castle. He is what is David? Oh, he's an OBE. I don't really understand why people are praising him for queuing, to be honest. Joyce, this is why the morning was extended for 7 extra days to prolong this with the people before reality sets in. Likely. Lorna Williams, hey Chucky, when this funeral was over, South Africa wants their diamonds back. Well, there was a South African MP who came out and said this. I think there'll be a lot of people asking for their diamonds, their marbles, whatever it is uh, they want after this. Elita, the thing is, no one is booing Harry and Meghan. Exactly. Exactly that. That must absolutely irritate them. I do believe that Sophie was down by Buckingham Palace and Chuck and Will were actually going down the line and greeting people earlier today. Tanya, these folks are in the Matrix, absolutely. We're out here plugged out in reality, waiting for this all to finish so we can listen to archetypes. Marina, someone give him a pen on the walkabout in Wales. Enough of his whining. I think he got his own. Oh wow, it's over 1,000 of you in the chat. Lorna, do you know what time Harry's standing vigil is today? No, I don't. But if you're following me on Twitter, on Instagram, I will post it there as soon as I know, and um, on the community tab here on YouTube as well. So I will try and put it out. Does anybody remember what time the vigil yesterday was? I'm assuming it will probably be around the same time, sometime in the evening. All right, who's gonna get the last word of the day? And I will be back for another short podcast in the evening after the vigil. S. Lean Mills, someone on Twitter suggested that at this point they should will the Queen alongside the queues. Yes, I've seen a couple of people say that. I also heard somebody else say that they should just have like 10 different coffins around the country, and then it's like a postcode lottery, and you show up and see if you've gone to the right one. Sylvia, Duchess of Success, after watching the people speak of their love for the royals, I now see why Tina used to say she did not understand how they could see Meghan being. Yeah, do you know what? On Tina and Michelle, I remember how people used to berate them for, being very unapologetic in their approach. People would try to police Tina and Michelle, police their tone, police them for swearing. And now that everything has happened, I wonder if those same people who are trying to police them feel the same way. And I think that Tina and Michelle's approach, it may not have been for everyone, but I 100% respect the fact that they were so unapologetic and so unfiltered, especially with what we've seen this week. I think they were spot on with their tone, 100% spot on. Because why do these people respect, deserve any amount of respect? Why do they deserve any amount of respect? Because they're telling everybody else to respect this mourning period and respect the queen, but they're the ones who are turning this into a clown show. They're the ones who are attacking Harry and Meghan. They're the ones who are attacking their family members while telling everybody else to mourn. So it's times like this that I'm so thankful for Michelle and Tina for very much um leading the pushback, and B, for being so unapologetic in their tone and not bowing to anyone who tried to police the way that they ran their platform and their podcast. Princess B, poor Harry, he's probably exhausted trying to protect Meghan. Yes. And you can tell that he really doesn't trust anybody else to protect her, because who can you trust on this island? Alrighty, let's wrap things up. All right, Colleen, I will give you the last word of the day. Meghan is there solely to support Harry. They continue to be graceful. They will come through this 100%. They will come through this. Thank you, everyone, as always, for your support. It's been a very, very long week, but we're almost at the end of it, and it won't be too long before we can just uh, go back to some sense of normality. Thank you so much, as always. Thank you, everyone, for the super stickers. To the moderators, you're always amazing. And I will see you later on this evening after we have seen Harry. All right, everyone. Ciao.
yours. While we struggle to heat our homes, we have to pay for your parade. The taxpayer pays 100 million for you, and what for? Needham Renin, not my king.